So we've now got a Conjuring shared universe with a prequel to a prequel spinoff. So let's talk about it. So in Annabelle creation, a toy maker and his wife have faced a lot of tragedy in life, and they decide to open up their home to be an orphanage for a group of females. Well, as soon as the girls arrive, some strange things start happening. It becomes clear that something more sinister is going on here. That's the basic premise of the movie, and it's a little bit of background. I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies or scary movies or demon possession movies, but I like them well enough when they're good, and good is the word that I would use to describe this movie. So let's go ahead and just start talking about the good stuff in this movie. Right off the bat, the characters are a little bit more interesting than the people you normally find in movies like this. They find the little touches to just make them pop, whether their personality, the way that the girls in the orphanage bicker and the dynamic between them feels real and organic, like the way it would be. And the lead girl in this has polio, and it just makes her a little bit more interesting than she would otherwise be. And the actress playing her, even though she's only 13, 14 years old, brings a little something to it that I enjoyed quite a bit, as well as the adult actors in this, all across the board, find a way to bring the right element to them. They're not like astounding performances. It's not like they're amazing characters. They just bring enough to them that pops a little bit more than most movies in this genre. Also, the movie just kind of creates an atmosphere, and because it's a period piece set, I don't know, this 1960 and 50, something like that, there's enough elements in here that give just the right ambiance that's creepy, and it's a world you like to be in, and a lot of the things about it just kind of work. And each setting you're in is just, the sound and the design of things just makes you feel a little bit unsettled and like you're in this out of time, out of place sort of environment that just gives a creep factor throughout the entire thing. And when the movie comes to kind of having creepy images and disturbing images, it doesn't overplay any of its tricks. It's like a movie that knew, let's use all of the tricks a little bit. So you have the jump scares, you have the weird, creepy, cricketing people type stuff that goes on. You have some gory and graphic images, important parts of it. You have like hands appearing out of nowhere. You have the sort of when you see what the creature is in the movie and actually get to see little bits of it. You get all these different things. You see inanimate objects start moving. It has all these tricks, and it doesn't overuse any of them. It uses each of them just enough that you're creeped out and freaked out by what they're doing without feeling like they keep going back to the same thing and just keep doing jump scares out of nowhere. They use each of them just enough, and because of the sound in it and the way the sound is used throughout the whole movie, each of them works. And in scenes, the sound will kind of telegraph what's coming. You're like, wait, is there something right over there? And then you start, it'll pan with the way people are looking, and you hear ahead of where it's going, so you know that you should be freaked out by it. So it does it in smart ways, not just you're walking down a hallway and then loud noise. Well, that's not really scaring me. That's called startling me. I've got kids, and when they're little kids are like 6 months old, or up until like 6 months old, you can just walk up to them and go, "Wah!" like that, and just there's a startle reflex where they literally go like this and shoot their hands up. That's all jump scares in movies are, when they do it lazy and they just suddenly changes in front of your eyes and there's a sound that accompanies it. That's not scaring me. That's startling me. There's a difference between these two things, and I wish some of these people would learn what that is. And this movie knows what that is, and instead deals with actual fear, which is the unknown, what's out there, and uses sound to create that tension within you, and then has some payoff sort of imagery, some payoff sort of shock appropriately used. Which makes for, in this type of movie, a very good experience, and it delivers what it's supposed to do. It's also a nice, straightforward tale. I was a little bit afraid that it was going to, like, as it moved into the third act, suddenly the Roman Catholic Church is showing up, and there's a priest and demon. I was thinking they were going to go in that direction, as other movies in this genre have done, and other movies in this series have done, and it kept it pretty straightforward, and just kind of kept building on the one story they were telling, as opposed to, like, transitioning into a different movie. And it's And it's a slow burn. It starts off fairly normal, and as the movie goes along, it escalates and escalates, but that's what it does. It escalates what it's been telling you and reveals things in the story that it has been telling you, as opposed to a big twist that moves in a different direction. It builds rather than twists and turns. And finally, the movie finds good ways to tie back into the other films in the series and actually kind of improve upon the previous Annabelle movie, which isn't very good. And there's some stuff that happened. I was like, why? This feels random when this happened. I actually watched it last night to get ready for this one. And things happened that I was like, why is this happening? And this movie finds ways to tie them together that makes that movie a little bit better. That movie's still not good, but it's a little bit better than it previously was, at least the last 24 hours since I watched it. With that said, let's move on to talking about the bad in this movie. And the central biggest issue I had with this movie is the central character logic in some of what transpires. And so it's kind of a horror cliche that people are stupid. And and this movie has just as much the kind of the dumb stuff of something freaky's happening. People are like, run into the scary shed. I mean, it has that dumb stuff, but those don't bother me as much because when people are in scary situations, they do stupid things. That's not unrealistic. That's not like, it's fun to pick on horror movies for the stupid things people do when they're scared. But in real life, people don't make wise choices when they're scared and their heart's racing. That's like even biological. That's one of the more realistic things about horror movies is that people are dumb when they're scared. No, that's not that's in here. But the bigger problem is just central logic. When people aren't scared, when people aren't in the urgent crisis of a demon is chasing them or something along those lines. No, when people are rested, calm, with information about stuff that's going on, whether it's people that kind of have background on what's going on at the house or people that just saw what happened at the house, the choices they make when they're calm and collected and the information they don't pass along, what they do with the information that they do receive, just all across the board, you're going, wait, why didn't this person then, as soon as this happened, why didn't that person just go, hey, just so you guys know, here's what's going on. And when this person showed up and they know they're in the creepy house, why did they just treat it like it was a normal night? There's a lot of central core logic when people have time to process rationally outside of crisis that makes no sense except to move the story forward. That's it. So that's the biggest issue I have with this. And just as a different point, the movie got kind of dull for me in the first half before the plot really got going, as it's setting everything up and you're learning the characters and you're like, ooh, that was kind of creepy. And as it does that slow build, is pretty slow in that first half. And, I was kind of being like, okay, I wish we'd get going a little bit quicker. And as I said, this isn't my type of movie. And that first half definitely tested my patience with this type of movie. And I would imagine most people would find it that way. But overall, it was a good movie. It delivered what it was supposed to do. It's not one I'm going to be like, oh man, even if you don't like scary movies, you got to check this one out. No, it's just a solid, good addition to this franchise that's worthy of the franchise without like blowing any minds. Overall, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Does its job. Not a lot more. If you like the genre, you'll like this one. If you like the franchise, you'll like this one. And that's about it. If I'm being honest, you don't need to rush out and see this in the theaters. Just if you love the genre or the series, sure, of course do. Otherwise, you check it out at Redbox. And also, if I'm being honest, if you didn't like anyone else, other movies in the series, this one is not going to be the one that wins you over. But it is good at what it's trying to do. Anyway, that's my take on it. How about you? Give me your thoughts on it down below in the comment section. Also, just so you know, in a couple days, dropping Saturday, or if you're watching this in the future, dropping in a Saturday in the past, I'm going to rank all 4 movies in this Conjuring universe that we've got. So I'll give you my thoughts on each and every one of them. I have been trying to do some catch up. I actually haven't watched The Conjuring 2 yet, so you know what I'm going to be doing either tonight or tomorrow. Just so you know how all this works. Anyway, if you're new to my channel, please consider clicking that subscribe button. I do movie reviews, ranking videos, but really, I want to talk movies with people, so I don't want to just talk about them. I want to talk about them with you, so join me in the comment section, and thank you for watching.